What's up, guys? In today's video, I'm doing a bit of an opinion piece. I wanted to talk about 5 things that I hate and 5 things that I love about Street Fighter V. My relationship with this game is pretty complicated. Overall, I would say I'm a fan of it, but there's definitely a lot of problems. But at the same time, a lot of stuff I like, so I thought it would be fun to kind of go through, in my opinion, what I think are the big strengths and the big weaknesses of this game. So the first hate that I want to talk about is I hate the slow walk speeds. Characters are very anemic in this game in terms of how fast they move along the ground. If you compare it to older games like, CVS 2 or Street Fighter 2, their characters kind of blazed across the screen compared to how slowly they're moving here. And it just makes it harder to play the ground game, to play footsies, and it kind of makes you want to jump just so you can, move forward quickly. So that's the number one thing that I hate. The number 2 thing that I hate about this game is that V triggers are extremely strong to the point of being a little bit absurd. And for most characters, you can also feel kind of that they don't feel that good until they get V trigger. A lot of times the round kind of revolves around, biding your time until you get V trigger, and then you can really turn up the heat. In my opinion, I don't think that V-triggers should be able to cancel normals. It just makes them too strong. It's too easy for characters to throw out sweeps and standing hard kicks and that kind of thing and cancel into V-trigger, and then if it hits, they get huge damage, and if it's blocked, they're still at advantage. So I think overall V-triggers need to be weakened, and that would also kind of incentivize the use of V-reversals, which I think would be good for the game overall. So that's the number 2 thing I hate. The number 3 thing I hate about Street Fighter V, and this is something that's kind of been harped on by everyone already, is the input lag. It used to be worse. It used to be 8 frames of input lag. It's now 6.5 frames, but that's still very high, more than pretty much every other game as far as I know. And it makes a lot of things hard. It makes it hard to anti-air on reaction. It makes it hard to whiff punish during footsies, and it just overall makes the game feel worse. You can kind of feel the fact that when you're hitting buttons, things aren't coming out at the speed you might be used to if you've played some other games. So I know that this is probably extremely hard to fix. It's probably endemic to the engine that they're using, or just the way the game is built. So that's kind of a bummer, because I do think it negatively affects the game. The number 4 thing that I hate about Street Fighter V is that zoning in general is very weak. Mostly, this game is dominated by rushdown. With the exception of Guile, he's pretty much the only character that can kind of get by on his fireballs. Even Dalsim, who was traditionally, the zoning character, the character that can keep you far away, Dalsim is kind of a rushdown character in this game. I mean, he's a mix, but still, he rushes down a lot of the time, and so do most of the characters that are really good in this game. So I'm not opposed to rushdown, I just think it can get a little homogenous when every character is trying to get in the opponent's face all the time. And the 5th and final thing I hate about Street Fighter V is that low tiers are extremely weak. And part of this is that we're mostly comparing the game to Street Fighter 4, which was an extremely balanced game. Compared to this, it's definitely not the most imbalanced Street Fighter. But definitely, if you're playing one of the worst characters like Fong, like Alex, like maybe arguably Vega, like Zangief in Season 1 before they buffed him, you're going to have a very hard time. The gap between low tier and top tier is very high. And you're seeing now players like Cian, who used to play Fong, is dropping him, which I totally can't blame him because it's just kind of a struggle. So that's my 5 things that I hate about Street Fighter V. I hope I didn't come off as too negative, because like I said, I do really like this game overall. But, let's end on a positive note. We're going to jump to the 5 things that I love about Street Fighter V. So the number 1 thing that I really love about this game is that, to me, it is very much like a fundamentals and footsies focused game. There are exceptions, obviously. A lot of people do like to jump a lot, and there are characters like Laura and Balrog who kind of just get in your face until they kill you. But, when that's not happening, I think in general the ground game is very solid. It encourages smart, solid play. So I think it's very refreshing to play, and you can kind of feel that you're getting better at fighting games in general, not just at the one game when you play Street Fighter V. The number 2 thing that I love about Street Fighter V is that the redesigns of existing characters are very interesting and very creative. So they could have kind of gone the lazy route and just straight up done the character again in the new game, and for some they did leave characters very similar, like Ryu, Chun-Li are very similar to their old versions, but a lot of characters like Birdie, Dalsim, M. Bison is a good example, Balrog, they've been changed a lot to kind of have their own identity unique to Street Fighter V. So, you know, like Birdie, they took a character that used to be kind of an E-Honda, like, brick wall type character. Now he's this interesting combination between grappler and zoner, and he can, like, throw cans at you and stuff. Dalsim used to just be a pure zoning character, but now he can rush down, he can mix you up in all these crazy ways. So it's awesome. I really love what they've done to a lot of these characters, and I think it's a lot of fun to play them. Number 3 thing I love about Street Fighter V is that dashes are extremely fast. So I talked earlier about how walk speed is really slow in this game, which is a bummer, but they also increase the speed of dashes a lot from Street Fighter 4. If you compare it to the rest of the series, it's pretty similar to Street Fighter 3, where not only is dashing a way to, you know, move across the screen, but you can also use it as kind of a miniature mix-up tool. You know, if you sense an opening in your opponent's pressure, you can dash up, and then they have to guess, you know, is he going to press a button or is he going to throw? So it adds a new dynamic to the game that I don't feel was really there in Street Fighter 4, and it's really fun. So that is number 3. Alright, number 4 is the buffers that have been put into link timing in this game. Basically what this means is that when you're doing a link combo, you know, like Ryu standing medium punch to crouching hard punch, or forward hard punch to crouching hard punch, stuff that if it was a one-frame link in Street Fighter 4 would be extremely hard. I know personally I like never got consistent with those. I could only really do the easier links, the 2, 3, 4 frame links. But in Street Fighter V, it's not hard to get consistent with any link combo because there is that buffer that gives you that little bit of generousness when you're doing a combo. So it's great to be able to hit combos consistently. I think it makes the game easier to pick up for new players. So I think that's a great move, and one of the things that I really like about this game. And the number 5 thing is that I feel like all the characters are very unique. They all bring their own things to the table that make them not redundant with anyone else in the cast and make them fun and interesting to play. So the 2 characters I put on screen I think are good examples. Ibuki, they've changed her to have this kunai meter, which, as far as I know, this is the first time that's ever been done in a Street Fighter game where a character has like a meter that's unique to them. So I thought that was interesting. It's something that you see in games like BlazBlue a lot, but never in Street Fighter as far as I know. And then Colleen also, she has a V-trigger that interacts with the stun bar, which also I believe is new to Street Fighter. So anyway, I just think that's cool, and I think most people, they can find at least one character that they think is interesting and fun to play. So that's pretty much it for the video. Thank you very much if you sat through the whole thing. I actually really enjoyed this format, so let me know in the comments if there's other games that you would like for me to do a list like this for. And as always, I appreciate you. So like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you very much, guys, and have a good one.